hitting that ball on the third base grass.
And he looks at a strike, and we are finally underway. Started a couple of minutes late, no big deal. See Morgan here, he's deking the Cubs. He doesn't look quite as fast with his pants. The bottom's all the way down. Looks a lot faster when they're hiked up right around his knees. Don't let that fool you.
No, don't let that fool you. He is still fast.
Inside, and a ball and 2 strikes on Morgan.
Well, and there aren't a lot of prototypical leadoff hitters around Major League Baseball anymore, but Nyjer Morgan certainly fits that bill.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And this Dempster's splitter has been splendid here in the early going. A lot of late movement. The bottom just dropping out.
Splendid splitter. I like that. Yeah. That's a good pitch. He'll use that against right-handers as well, although he relies more on the slider to right-handed hitters. But when he has a good feel for that splitter, he'll throw it to anybody.
Here's Kennedy. Got the start on Monday, went 0 for 3 with a sac fly. Came in for defense last night at second base. Two balls, no strikes. The great thing about the game of baseball is unlikely heroes can show up in October, and you have to say Adam Kennedy, the ALCS MVP in 02, is one of those guys. That's deep to right and gone. A home run for Kennedy, and as Bob said, the right field area, you wouldn't think the ball would carry with the wind blowing in, but Kennedy hit it out anyway.
Well, we didn't think the ball would carry to left or center last night, but in the first inning, Nyjer Morgan hit a triple all the way to the wall in left, and Christian Guzman tripled to straightaway center. So it stands to reason that Adam Kennedy would hit one through the wind to put the Nationals on the board here. They're one row up into the bleachers out there in straightaway right field.
Guzman with a slicing fly, and Colvin will run it down. Adam Kennedy had a 3-homer game in the ALCS when he was with Anaheim. And a lot of Hall of Famers who've never hit 2 home runs in a game in the postseason, but he hit 3.
All about getting hot at the right time. Every player at this level is capable of those kind of performances, and for him to do it on the biggest stage like that is pretty impressive.
Sun is a problem, but Ramirez makes a catch. Only a 9-pitch first for Dempster, but one of those pitches left the yard. It's 1-0 Nationals with the Cubs coming up. Fukudome, and Lee at the top. Struggling Aramis Ramirez. Tyler Colvin in for Soriano. Marlon Byrd down in that 6th spot. Mike Fontenot's at second. Coy Hill, part of a pretty potent offensive catcher tandem. We'll tell you about that later. And Ryan Dempster batting 9th.
Let's check out the Nationals defense, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Willingham, Morgan, and the recently recalled Bernardino will man the outfield today. Kennedy, Desmond, Guzman, and Dunn across the infield. Will Nieves getting the start once again behind the plate for Pudge Rodriguez today, and he'll be catching pitches from right-hander Luis Atalano, making his 2nd major league start. 6 strong innings against the Dodgers in his debut. Gave up only 5 hits and 1 run in that ballgame.
And he starts Terrio with a strike. Ryan with a 7-game hitting streak. Up the middle, Guzman can't get it, and it's an 8-gamer. Ryan is 18 for his last 35. That's better than 500 over the stretch.
And the majority of the base hits are coming to the middle and right side of the field, which is what you love to see from Ryan Terrio. That's when he's at his best. Taking pitches all over the plate and guiding them to the right side of the field for base hits.
And he currently leads the National League in hits. He has led the NL the last 2 years in singles. The pitch to Kosuke is taken outside, a fastball at 87. Atalano's from Santurce in Puerto Rico. Tommy John surgery in August of 06. He missed most of 07. And the Nationals got him in a deal with the Braves right after that Tommy John surgery. Former Cub Darrell Ward was involved in that deal. I don't think he was a former Cub, though, at that time. Those were his pre-Cub days.
It tells you how confident teams are that Tommy John surgery will turn out to be successful. They acquired him 21 days after his surgery.
Turned 25 on May 10th. 6'2", 218. Just off the outside corner, according to Jerry Davis. 2-1.
Asked Rudy Jaramillo for the Reader's Digest scouting report on Atalano, and he said he's got a good sinking fastball that he'll throw on both sides of the plate. Against righties, he uses a lot of sliders. Against lefties, he'll throw his straight changeup, and he will mix in an occasional over-the-top curveball. But you're going to see a lot of sinkers, sliders, and changeups today.
He is here and in the rotation because Jason Marquis is on the disabled list with loose bodies in his right elbow. 2-2.
We saw Kosuke shaking out his wrist after that check swing, or attempted check swing. That is so much torque trying to stop the barrel of that bat. It's a lot of strain on the wrist and the hand. Hopefully Kosuke is okay.
To get fouled down the left field line.
And then we've talked a lot throughout this series about this improved Nationals ball club. And one thing that really jumps out at you when you watch their pregame workouts, there's a lot of energy. This is a ball club that looked dead on their feet at times last year. But that has not been the case in this 3-game series here at Wrigley. A lot of energy, a lot of fun. Guys goofing around before the ball game, getting their work in, and doing it, as I said, with a lot of energy.
I talked with Jim Riggleman this morning. He said they care very much about winning. He said they're, as a group, pretty upset when they lose. He likes their attitude. And they're off to a decent start against a tough schedule as Fukudome walks. Terrio was on the move on that 3-2 pitch. So 2 on with nobody out for Derek Lee. Let's hope Derek can just keep doing what he did last night. The results weren't there, but if you keep hitting it hard, at some point it's going to pay off.
Yeah, he just needs a GPS on that bat barrel. He hit the ball hard 3 times last night. Just had nothing to show for it. Nice diving catch by Alberto Gonzalez down at third base, robbing him of a hit. Diving play by Ian Desmond at shortstop to take away another potential base hit. And then Josh Willingham with a real nice running catch on the track in left field.
Takes the sinker low and out of the zone. Now, having said that, Derek is 4 for his last 40, and that's why his batting average is hovering around 200. That's a strike. That's a pitch right there, Bob. If Atalano can hit his spot with it all day, he's going to have some pretty good success.
He's got just enough movement that hitters are probably going to hit the top part of the baseball if they do swing at that pitch. This young man probably gets a lot of ground balls.
Outside on a slider. Kick and the 2-1, 3-1. So he is flirting with danger here. Jovan Hernandez dazzled again last night. 7 innings, only 1 run allowed, and getting his 3rd win of the year. Cubs have seen him a lot, not this guy, and they're waiting out Atalano at the moment. The 3-1 to Lee, swinging away, high fly to right. Bernardina gets behind the ball. Terrio is on his way to 3rd. Boy, what a throw. It's late, but Terrio got in. That's something to file away if you're the Cubs. Bernardina with an excellent throw. Just about anybody else in the Cubs lineup, they probably would have had him.
Kind of shocked to see him even attempt that throw to third base, but he unleashed a rocket right on line to 3rd. Terrio just does get in ahead of the throw with a slide. You have to be impressed with some of the talent, some of the young talent also on this Nationals ball club. We've seen Justin Maxwell out in right field the first couple games of this series, a 6'5", 230-pound speedster. And now Bernardino today showcasing his arm.
Ramirez better get used to that pitch, because Atalano is going to try to paint the outside corner or a little off it with the sinker and get Ramirez to roll over on a double play ball. Aren't too many secrets in a spot like this when a sinker baller is on the mound.
And as always, the best you can hope for is for that pitcher to make a mistake, and pitchers do make mistakes. You just have to be ready to make them pay when he leaves that sinker up over the plate a little bit. And hopefully lay off that one that's just off of the outside corner, that ground ball waiting to happen.
He is not a big strikeout pitcher. High in the air as Ramirez got under it. This should be enough to get Terrio in, although Willingham coming in, the wind helping him a little bit. Here comes his throw toward the plate. It's cut off, and the Cubs tie it up on a sacrifice fly. Ramirez now with 12 RBIs in spite of a 150 batting average, and he gets it done.
I think this is one instance where the wind affected an outfielder's throw. Josh Willingham got underneath that ball, got rid of it in good shape, but that ball really tailed back toward foul territory as it got closer to the infield, allowing Terrio to score easily on the sac fly.
Lou putting Colvin in between Ramirez and Bird so he doesn't have back-to-back lefties. And Fontenot's in the 7th spot behind Marlin. Colvin is 6 for his last 13. A couple of home runs over the weekend in Milwaukee. One and one. With matinee action, Milwaukee leading the Pirates 4-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Paul Maholm and Chris Narveson, who's now in the Brewer rotation for Jeff Suppan. Pirates finally snapped a 22-game Miller Park losing streak as they rallied off Trevor Hoffman in the 9th last night. Nieves turning around, and he's called off, and it's dropped by Kennedy. Kennedy tried to make the basket catch as he called off Nieves, and Kennedy will be charged with the error. And the inning is still alive for Marlon Byrd.
Well, that had trouble written all over it. Tough sun, tough wind today. Kennedy calls off Nieves at the last instant. Where is Kosuke Fukudome? With 2 outs in the inning, any ball hit in the air, you have nothing to do but run. Should have easily been on third base on that ball.
So Byrd with a chance. Snapped a 5-game multi-hit and run streak last night. He leads the majors with 6 3-hit performances. Well, hopefully that'll bode well. This at bat. The 0-1 hit his bat, not his hands. 0-2.
That pitch was so bad it turned out good for Atalano. A sinker up and in, way off the plate, but just caught a piece of Marlon Byrd's bat.
Atalano had 1 strikeout in his major league debut, but that was Charlie Hager. So he has not yet struck out a position player. Still 0-2 to Byrd.
Well, we've said many times, anybody with a bat in their hands is dangerous, but the reality is a pitcher with a bat in his hands is not as dangerous as a player with a bat in his hands.
Should be easy for Bernardina, and that's the inning. So they tie it up on the sacrifice fly by Ramirez. It's 1-1 after 1. Josh Willingham leading off the Nationals second against Ryan Dempster, who puts one right down the middle for strike one. Willingham continues to get on base. 41 times he's been on, most in the National League. Good placement, 0-2. Ryan is undefeated against the Nationals. As a starter, he's 6-0. Overall, 7-0 in his career. Has not faced them since a 9-2 win here on August 23rd of 2008. These numbers are a bit deceiving because there's been a lot of roster turnover for the Nationals just about every year since they moved from Montreal. And even going back to their final years in Montreal, they had moving parts. Fukudome camping underneath. He's still coming in.
Hey fans, tomorrow the Cubs host the Diamondbacks here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs drawstring bag, compliments of Van Campen.
Diamondbacks are in Colorado today. Chris Benson and Greg Smith in that one. Got thumped last night 12-1. Former Cubs coach Dan Radisson now at first base for the Nationals. Oh, 2 on the way, pulled on the ground, and a diving attempt by Fontenot came up short. And Bernardino has his first hit of the season. Bernardino was hot at AAA as he was brought back for the second time already this year after the game last night.
A lot of top spin on that ground ball, just shot past Mike Fontenot into right field for a base hit. You mentioned Dan Radisson, former Cub coach down there at first base. He's always had good feet. Whether the music's playing or not, he's quick on his feet.
The Nationals made this move, sending out lefty Jesse English, because they have an off day tomorrow and then Monday, so they felt covered in the bullpen, and they're a little banged up position player wise. Haven't seen Ryan Zimmerman make a start in this series. Billy Harris had been bothered by right knee inflammation. Saw him off the bench earlier in this series.
And oh, by the way, we've talked about the National speed in this series. Bernardino, the man at first base right now, had 2 seasons, over 40 stolen bases in the minor leagues. So they just keep bringing them up here and setting up the starting blocks over there at first base. Bernardino looking to get a jump, try to steal a bag himself.
He is the reigning International League Player of the Week. He goes, and Dempster can only get 1 out. So Desmond retired 2 away with a runner at second, and the catcher Nieves batting 8th will come up.
I'm sure Coy Hill was yelling 1-1-1 as Dempster caught that ball. You could clearly see Bernardino on the move. They were not going to be able to force him at second base. Dempster took a look anyway, but turned and took the easy out at first base.
Here's Nieves. Slider for a strike.
You know, Len, we could have called this Will Nieves start last night. Pudge Rodriguez lifetime against Ryan Dempster. 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. You compound that with a day game after a night game, and the veteran Pudge Rodriguez getting at least the beginning of this game off. Nieves is not much better, 0 for 6 lifetime against Dempster, but when you're the backup catcher to a veteran future Hall of Famer like Pudge Rodriguez, you're going to catch when the big boy doesn't want to.
The kick and the 1-1 is away, and it's 2-1. Ivan Hernandez was excellent again last night. He's been so good this season. He gave up 1 run in 7 innings, and his ERA went up. Still under 1 for the year. Big swing by Nieves, and he fouled it back. Ryan Dempster has won 22 games at home since the start of 08. That leads the major leagues. So when he pitches here, he normally wins. (22-7) here at Wrigley Field since 08.
I think, Len, if you had to pick a player on this roster that has really embraced what it means to be a Cub and play at home here at Wrigley Field, he lives in the Wrigleyville neighborhood. If you're around the ballpark, you're likely to see him riding his bike to the yard some days, out on the streets with his family. He really loves being a Cub and pitching here at Wrigley Field.
There's a base hit as Bernardina is going to score, and it's 2-1. So Will Nieves, Bob, a couple of times in this series with first base open, has come up with an RBI hit. He did it against Carlos Silva to tie the game Monday night.
And you may ask, why not just go ahead and walk the 8-hitter to get the pitcher up at the plate? I think it's Lou Piniella and Larry Rothschild showing confidence in Ryan Dempster that he can effectively pitch around that 8-hitter and either allow him to get himself out or go ahead and walk him. But that time a mistake from Dempster. A pitcher was up and out over the plate. Nieves lined it into right field for an RBI.
Atalano dribbled towards second base, and Fontenot takes care of him. So we've seen 1 run in every half inning. 2-1 Nationals. Hardworking David Kaplan was on our pregame today. Tribune writers, sports stars, and celebrities discuss the day's hottest sports topics. Don't miss Chicago Tribune Live tonight at 5:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Will Nieves helping out his battery mate as the Nationals have taken their second lead here in the early going. It's 2-1. These two offenses are ready to bust out today after some tough going at times the last 2 nights with the weather.
Now, the weather was definitely tough last night. The cold, the wind. But both those pitchers were on top of their game. I think it would have been a pitcher's duel regardless of the conditions. Livan Hernandez was really good last night, changing speeds, moving the ball all over the strike zone. And after a rough start to the game, Gorzelani was up to the challenge. He threw the ball extremely well once again.
Cubs have scored a grand total of 2 runs in the 22 innings Tom Gorzelani's been on the mound. Why is it that there's one guy in every rotation every 5 days his offense doesn't score for him?
And it seems to happen every year on every staff. There's one starting pitcher that just doesn't seem to get the same kind of offensive support as the other 4 guys in the rotation. Unfortunately, that's Tom Gorzelani this year.
Fontenot with a solid single on an 0-2 pitch.
Fontenot, that's something we haven't seen a lot of from him in the early going this year. Most of his base hits have come to the opposite field, but that time a very quick swing with his hands. Pulled that ball right past the first baseman, Adam Dunn, into right field.
Switch hitting Coy Hill. Bounces to second. Guzman is going to underhand to Dunn.
Tickets are selling quickly, but there's still time to get great seats for May games. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
Thanks to Coy for joining Dave Kaplan on pregame live. You could tell the wheels were spinning as Dave asked him a great question. As a catcher, would you rather have the wind blowing out or in at Wrigley Field? Coy's answer was basically like, well, when the wind's blowing out, it's almost not like real baseball sometimes. You get those asterisk-like home runs, which he said I would love to get. But while just about every other position player would say, oh, I want the wind blowing out, it's not that easy for a catcher because he's trying to protect his pitchers.
Well, especially a guy who has a reputation of being a strong defensive catcher and a good caller of games behind the plate. Your allegiance is split between your own offensive numbers and getting your pitcher through a ball game, and I can see why that would be a tough question.
The 1-1 to Dempster, swing and a miss. Well, you want to put Ryan Dempster in as many sacrifice bunt situations as you can. He's as good as anybody in baseball at it. This is not that situation with 1 out.
Well, I've even speculated a number of times in the early going, rather than waste a pinch hitter off the bench or use one of your position players to put down a sac bunt, let Dempster come off the bench, pinch hit, and do what he does extremely well.
He lines out to Desmond. So 2 down, it brings up Terrio. Ryan had to really work at it too, Bob, because as the closer for a few years, that was really not an issue.
He takes it very seriously. I talked about it, I believe, his last start. You can always tell when Ryan Dempster's starting a ball game just by his demeanor when he takes batting practice before a game. On days that he's starting, I mean, he is up there grinding. He's putting down his bunts. He's trying to hit the ball on the ground to the opposite field. And the rest of the days of the week, he still works hard on his bunting, but he likes to try to go deep once in a while.
Terrio smacks it into center. Here comes Fontenot. Morgan up with it. The throw to the plate, cut off. It's 2-2. We're on a 9-9 pace so far. Single run in every inning.
The Cubs are fortunate that Adam Kennedy came over and cut this ball off. It was hit like a bullet to center field. Nigel Morgan uses his speed to charge the ball hard, and he unleashed what looked to be a pretty good throw to home plate. See Nieves with a little reaction there at home. I think he thought they might have had a shot at Mike Fontenot at the plate had that ball gone through.
The pitch to Fukudome, right at Guzman, who throws to Dunn. Leadoff single and a 2-out RBI hit. And the LSU guys combine to tie it 2-2. Diamondbacks right here at Wrigley Field. Coverage starts at 12:30 with Chevy Cubs pregame live. Cubs and Diamondbacks Friday at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Morgan, a strikeout victim on a nasty split from Dempster to start the game. Got jammed. Slow roller to Fontenot. 1 out.
Missed some of the action after the game? Go to Comcast On Demand for access to Comcast Sportsnet games ready to watch on your schedule. Don't have Comcast On Demand? Call 1-888-4BEST-TV today.
Kennedy hit a home run into the seats in right his first time up. That's how you fill in for Ryan Zimmerman. His first homer of the year. 1-1 the count. Ryan Dempster continues to deal quality starts, 3 out of his first 4. Maintains his consistency throughout the year. His name will pop up in that Cy Young balloting, although I can't remember another year as he gets Kennedy on a ground ball after just about a month. You've got Roy Halladay now in the National League. You've got Tim Lincecum, the back-to-back winner of the Cy Young, pitching again today. 4-0 with a 1 ERA. You've got Ubaldo Jimenez, 5-0 with a 0.79. Mike Pelfrey, 4 wins and a 0.69. It's very impressive when you look around this league.
Livan Hernandez.
Carlos Silva.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's early and a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the season, but a lot of outstanding starting pitching early in the season.
Inside on Guzman. I think if we're handicapping it, the track records would say Lincecum, Halladay, Wainwright probably be your best bets, but who knows? Again, maybe Ryan Dempster can jump into that mix. 2-0 with a 260 going into action today. to say, I think Jimenez is legit.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. He's legit. Scouts have been talking about him since he got to the major leagues. This guy's a no-hitter waiting to happen. Well, he finally did it this season, and people are saying he may do it again before the year's over.
Lined to Marlon Byrd. First 1-2-3 for Dempster today. First time a team hasn't scored. It's 2-2. Derek Lee leading off the last of the third in a 2-2 tie. Slider strike from rookie righty Luis Attilano. We totally agree. Ronnie is a Hall of Famer.
No argument from this booth, that's for sure.
Hopefully the voters will one day get it right. Ground ball to short. Is Desmond with a bad throw, and Dunn will tag Derek.
That's been the one knock on Ian Desmond in the early going this season. He's made 3 defensive errors, usually on routine plays just like that one. We saw him make a fantastic play trying to initiate a double play against Derek Lee last night. This is about as routine as it gets, and he pulls his big first baseman off the bag, but Dunn able to make the tag and get the out anyway.
Dunn may not be the smoothest first baseman out there, but in pretty much every collision, I'll take him.
Well, the one thing we've seen from Adam Dunn in this series, and granted he's still learning the position on a daily basis, he tends to come off the bag rather quickly. You know, most first basemen can adjust their stretch to go get balls that are a little bit offline, but he really comes off that bag quickly.
Ramirez with a jam shot roller, 3-1 the put out. In fact, both outs, Bob, the ground balls, guys getting in on the hands at Delano in those ground ball outs. Here's Colvin. We'll see the Pirates next week. John Russell has been batting the pitcher 8th this season. And the Cardinals are trying it again as well. Might dare one of the Cubs to wear those.
Look good for the Oakland A's, maybe.
No play for Willingham. Tony La Russa with the Cardinals offense struggling a bit. Last night hit Brendan Ryan 9th and Chris Carpenter 8th. So you're trying to do that on the field.
What a hot dog.
Two and one. Pitch low. Right field corner, foul right off the ledge and bounding up into the seats. Nicely done. Marlon Byrd would like a chance in this inning. Colvin trying to get on for him. Left center, and he will get on. Morgan gets it back in very quickly as it gets away from Guzman, but the pitcher was backing it up.
Well, that sinker is a good 3 or 4 inches off the plate away. Tyler Colvin showing great plate coverage, quick hands, driving that ball the opposite field. Extends the inning here for Marlon Byrd.
There are several different components to successful hitting. And one of the big ones we talk about all the time, and every hitting coach does, is swing at your pitch. So there's a line out to Guzman. We'll talk more about that when we come back. It's 2-2 after 3.
From Taco Bell, open 1 a.m. or later.
Rubber match 2-2. The Nationals, their last 11 games have gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. So they're due to lose, according to their trend. 0-1 on Adam Dunn. The Cubs over shift toward right on their infield. They have two guys in the outfield, Grass on the first base side of second.
You know, Len, I could never figure out. I mean, obviously Adam Dunn's paid to hit the ball in the seats, and he's capable of doing that against any team at any time. But in an instance like this, when you find yourself leading off an inning, He could square around and bunt that ball toward third base hard and walk to first. It would be an easy leadoff single. But some guys just don't have it in them. I know Luis Gonzalez occasionally would show bunt when teams would put a similar shift on for him, but rarely did he actually attempt to bunt the ball to third base.
That's deep the other way, and Colvin's going to watch it go for a home run. I wish he had done what you said.
Yeah, there's your answer. That's why he doesn't try to bunt for a base hit.
41 career homers for Dunn versus the Cubs. They have their third lead of the game.
Well, you said it in the first game of the series, Len. He's a man that can make this ballpark look really, really small. Pitch is on the outside corner just below the belt. He's got tremendous pop to all parts of the field, and usually is going to hit a fly ball. He rarely grounds into a double play, rarely grounds out.
Willingham bounces fair as Ramirez will get the out. Time now for AT&T Trivia. Going back to 1969 when the Expos started up. They've had one 20-game winner. Had some really good starting pitchers in the history of the franchise. Bill Stoneman. I think he had a couple no-hitters back in the early 70s. Randy Johnson started his career with Montreal. Pedro Martinez, that's caught. Fukudome.
Dennis Martinez, El Presidente.
Yeah. Bartolo Colon, I think, had 20 wins one year, but it was 10 with Cleveland and 10 with Montreal.
Charlie Lee. I think I actually know the answer to this one, and it's none of them, if I'm right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Would the hint be he was an Expo?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think any Nationals have come close to 20 wins. Two and 0 on Desmond. Nieves with an RBI single in the second. He's on deck. The home run for Dunn, his 41st against the Cubs, and only his 71st RBI. How about that? So most of his RBIs have come when he's driven in himself. He gives the Nationals a 3-2 advantage. 3-2 Nationals lead Adam Dunn with a home run the other way. The Nationals with 2 homers in this series. They both have come today. Cubs have not yet hit one out of the park since they've come back home. Fontenot starts it and skies it down the line. Foul. There's some more Expos starting pitchers who possibly could have won 20 games. Steve Rogers, Bill Gullickson, Ken Hill back in the early 90s. You mentioned Charlie Lee, Bill Lee. He was a spaceman, right?
Yes, he was. Boy, was he ever.
Scott Sanderson, Javier Vasquez. So lots of good choices, and I don't think we've named them yet. I can tell you this: Steve Rogers with the franchise lead in career wins with 158. It's not even close. Benny Martinez with 100 is second. Fontenot is 2 for 2. All right, partner, our AT&T trivia, you think you know the answer. The only 20-game winner in the National/Expos history.
Yeah, Ross Grimsley.
1978.
Yeah, back in 1978. Was an all-star that year. Got some Cy Young votes. I probably should have eliminated myself. I heard that trivia question years and years ago, and I was as astounded as we were today trying to figure out who the heck it was. And I remember Ross Grimsley.
I do wonder at some point, I mean, this is only, what, the 6th year since they moved to Washington, but when they do a throwback day, are they going to wear old Senators jerseys or Expos? That kicked up. They do get one as Desmond had to get away from him. So that staves off the double play, and the Cubs will bring up Ryan Dempster with 1 out instead of 2. I'd hate to think we'll never see the Expos jerseys ever again.
You know, now that we don't go to Montreal anymore, I kind of miss it. I don't miss that ballpark. It's like playing baseball in a hospital waiting area. Very quiet.
Bunted by Dempster, picked up by Atalano, and he tags him. It's a sac bunt to get Hill in scoring position. 2 outs. Well, the story I always tell about going to Montreal, it was one of the best road cities in the majors. Very vibrant downtown area, lots of shopping, great restaurants, all kinds of things to do. You get on the train, you exit at P9, and you'd get off the train with hundreds of people, and you'd say to yourself, wow, I guess there are going to be a lot of people at the game tonight. You'd walk through the cavernous hallway, you'd go left, and everybody else would go right to wherever else they were going. But it was an Olympic Stadium.
Yeah, P9, for those of you who don't speak French, is high 9.
They wanted, and it was right at first, a retractable roof, but it didn't really work after a while, so they just permanently attached the roof. Bernardina retires Theriot to end the inning. We'll head off to the 5th. 3-2 Les Nationaux. 695. If you are the 500 texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway. We should also note, closing the book on Montreal, that you're inside the park home run came at Olympic Stadium, so I know it'll always have a soft place in your heart.
I almost caught my breath. It was 1984. And the one thing I was glad to get away from was the artificial turf. I think baseball's a much better game, and certainly the players' health is much better since they don't have to deal with the funny stuff anymore.
I think Andre Dawson and Vladimir Guerrero would wholeheartedly agree with you. The 0-1 to Nieves. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tap to third. It's Ramirez barehanding. Low throw, and that's what Derek Lee does best. He does everything well, but he might be better than anybody in the game scooping those low in the dirt throws.
Possibly an unnecessary bare hand with Nieves running, but a nice pick up and throw nonetheless. And there's D. Lee at the other end. Maybe Ramirez is just practicing for when Nyjer Morgan gets up to the plate a couple hitters later, in case he tries to drop down another bunt.
One and one to the pitcher with Morgan on deck. Ryan went into the 8th in his last start, an 8-1 win at Milwaukee Friday night. 7 2/3 each of his last 2 times on the mound. He has become the Cubs' #1 workhorse over the last year or so, working very deep into games, 200 innings last year. Not saying he didn't work hard when he was a closer, but he has really upped the ante the last 3 years, going back to a starter role. We were in New York between starts, and I saw him in the team hotel after he ran through Central Park. Then I go to the ballpark, and he's out working out again. Kind of reminded me of you. Bird, did he catch it? He did! Marlon Bird couldn't find the ball and almost picked it right off the grass. That's a circus catch out in center. He had no idea where it was. He stuck his glove out and the ball landed right in his mitt. Look at this. Not even looking.
Oh, man. You're going to see that. You're going to see that on the highlight reels. Battling that tough sun out there in center field. Reach out with the backhand side. Comes over almost behind his back to make the blind catch. Outstanding.
Morgan bunts it foul. I don't think everyone realized that he caught it. I mean, Dempster did. But the fans really didn't get a good look at it. We didn't get a good look at it. All I know is Atalano made a left turn and went right back into the dugout. And I think Marlon was as surprised as anyone.
That guy just never ceases to amaze out there in center field. Even with his eyes closed and his back turned, he can make plays.
And you can see why by the shadows. I mean, the sun right now is directly behind home plate.
Marlon Byrd is the early front runner for a Gold Glove award in the outfield in the National League this year, just for that play alone. Battling the sun, the wind is howling in from right field. And a lot of factors working against him there, and still able to make the play.
Tricky wind, tricky sun, and he still caught it. And a big catch, because Atalano would have ended up at least at second base. Marlon, I think you're going to like this catch even more when you see the replay. He never did see it.
No, he hasn't seen it yet. I'll tell you, just the fact that he hung in there knowing that he lost the ball in the sun and tried to keep himself in a position near where the ball was going to come down. Most outfielders will try to get out of the vicinity and then pick the ball up after it hits the ground.
The 2-2 to Morgan. It's full 3-2. Dempster knows if he lets Morgan off the hook, he might have to be battling with a runner in scoring position, because Morgan will probably take off from first the first chance he gets. But doesn't have to worry about it. Morgan is 0 for 3. Dempster getting a lot of help from Marlon Byrd, one of the catches of the year. I don't have it. Now I do. What a play. You never know what you're going to see, Luke, every day. And Marlon Byrd with one of the season highlights. Behind the back catch, as he's describing to Ryan Theriot how he did it.
It's going to get better and better, too.
Let's see what you do, Ryan. You turn your back to home plate. Just like that. Two-1 on Fukudome, who has walked and grounded out. Average at a healthy 327. Just missed. 3-1. Atalano won his major league debut, and he's leading again today. Ball 4. He just walked the leadoff man.
Hey, fans, watch the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks this Friday at 1:20 at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs W banner, compliments of Comcast Sportsnet.
Lee is 0 for 2 and now 0 for 10 in the series. Nationals are in double play depth all around the infield, and a swing and a foul. Former Cub Kerry Wood getting closer to returning to action. He's on the disabled list with the Cleveland Indians. Maybe in a couple of weeks. That's hit foul. Jim Riggleman, his former manager, recently talked about Kerry. Commented to the Washington Post in February that he regrets pitching Kerry as much as he did in his Rookie of the Year season in 1998. Woody, classy as always, says that's not the case. His mechanics were bad. He did not feel like he was overused at all. And it does make you wonder, Bob. And you know, the Nationals, as you said, have kept a close eye on Steven Strasburg's pitch counts, and they will limit his innings this year. But as a manager, you live and you learn, and I think that experience will probably affect Jim Riggleman with how he uses Steven Strasburg.
I'll tell you, that all being said, and it's all absolutely correct, but if you find yourself in a pennant race late in September, everything's out the window.
Oh, you're right, 98. As the Cubs went to the playoffs. Kerry has an upper back strain. That's why he started this season on the DL with Cleveland. One out, Ramirez coming up.
I mean, obviously, as a manager, you worry somewhat about the future of your team and your organization, but the reality is if you don't win, you may not be there to enjoy that future. A manager is more immediate. A general manager and the training staff think a lot more about the future than a manager does.
A base hit for Ramirez. So 2 on with 1 out.
Well, and there's no doubt it's been a slow start to the season for Aramis Ramirez, but really it kind of follows his career history. Yeah, his worst month throughout his career has always been April. He's a .258 lifetime hitter in the month of April. Every other month of the season, he's .278 or better, up into the 300s in some of the months. It's just a little more exaggerated this year because of the team-wide struggles through that first 2 weeks of the season.
One and nothing on Tyler Colvin. Alfonso Soriano available off the bench in this one, with Colvin getting the start and left. Just outside, 2-0. Good eye. The kick and the pitch right down Main Street, 2-1. Chicago native Mike Rizzo, the general manager of the Washington Nationals. Boy, Bob, he had a lot of nice things to say about you going back to your Diamondbacks days.
You get what you pay for.
I set him straight.
Well, the feeling is mutual. I'll tell you, he basically built that Diamondbacks team that we're going to see over this weekend. Brandon Webb, Chad Tracy, who's now with the Cubs, Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, Dan Uggla, Mark Reynolds, Connor Jackson, Chris Snyder, Carlos Quentin, all guys that were drafted when he was at the helm of the scouting department there with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Which is why I have no doubts that in the very near future the Nationals are going to be stockpiled with really, really good young players. Traded for
Morgan and Sean Burnett in a Pirates deal last year. 2-2 on Colvin. Mike Rizzo had a lot of nice things to say about Tim Wilkin, who runs the Cubs draft. According to some, Tim went out on a limb and took Tyler Colvin with a 13th overall pick in 06. Cubs are very happy they did that. See what the runners do. They're not going. Ball 4 to load them up for Marlon Byrd.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at our home depot doing more on defense. It's going to be the comebacker to right. No, it isn't. It's going to be Marlon Byrd back in that 5th inning, fighting the elements out there in center field. A behind-the-back blind catch. About 385 feet from home plate. You can't do it any better than that, Marlon Byrd.
And with the Cubs rallying, Steve McCatty, the pitching coach, is going to head out. Saw Brian Bruni late in the game Monday, and he is up early today. We are working with Bloomberg Sports to provide some of the most in-depth and compelling data analysis baseball has ever seen. Fans can get their own set of these new state-of-the-art tools from Bloomberg, built for fun and for fantasy play. Go to BloombergSports.com to get a preview and find out all the details. A potentially pivotal moment in this game. The bases are loaded. The Cubs trail by a run. And the pitch to Marlon Byrd, in on the hands and hit foul. For the most part, a lot of strikes from Adelano, but the 2 times he's gotten into the most trouble is when he's walked Kosuke Fukudome back in the 1st inning and a leadoff walk here in the 5th.
Good take by Marlon Byrd. That's that outside sinker that we've talked about throughout the early part of this ball game. Nothing good can come of that pitch as a hitter. Late movement. See that ball go down. Invariably, you're going to hit it on the ground somewhere on the infield.
Jam shot, pop up, Dunn the catch. Everybody has to go right back to the base. 2 outs. Matt Delano's gotten a lot of outs when he's jammed guys. That's what a good sinker ball pitcher will do.
Well, we were told he worked that sinker on both sides of the plate. We saw him try to nibble the outside corner on the previous pitch and then comes right back and up and in at the hands on Marlon Byrd to get that broken bat floater to first.
Fontenot's gotten him twice for singles. Cubs could sure use another one here. Low, ball 1. Gotten a little more heat on that fastball. He was starting today at 86, 87. That one registering at 90.
When he started against the Dodgers, he was clocked as high as 92 on that fastball, but the movement is more important than the velocity for Atalanta.
The kick and the 2-0. A fly down the left field line. Willingham coming way over and no play. It lands foul untouched as he banged into the padding along the side wall.
Went pushing that ball further and further foul as it got down that left field line. Willingham's a big boy, but that wall is undefeated.
3-1. Another bad one. The Cubs will tie it. That's how they won Monday night. A bases loaded walk in the 10th. Three and two. Full-time action on the bases on this 3-2 pitch to Fontenot. Looked like it would have been ball 4 as Dunn will toss at Delano covering, and he's pumped up. He gets out of this jam with nothing allowed. Still 3-2 Nationals. Compliments of Pepsi and Aquafina. Cubs left them loaded in the 5th.
Yeah, Atalano had given up 2 base hits to Fontenot his first 2 at-bats, both on sinkers that strayed out over the plate. This time he cuts that fastball so it stays inside on the left-handed hitting Fontenot. Jammed him badly, hit that little grounder to Dunn at first base to end the inning.
The 0-1. It's 1-1 on Kennedy. We were having a little fun off the air last night with Adam Kennedy, presidential surname. They have the President's Race at Nationals Park. We were thinking of kind of an all-presidential team. We came up with a lot of good names. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Blackhawks have a way for you to catch the exciting playoff action live. Text playoffs to BHawks to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blackhawks home playoff game. That's playoffs to 242-957 for your chance to win the hottest ticket in town. Message and data rates apply. You could have Mark Grant as one of your pitchers. We could go for days and days. Mike Lincoln could be another pitcher on your staff. As Guzman's going to ground out. Rich Harding No, it doesn't work. Quite. It's close.
UL Washington.
UL Washington. I like it. Dave Bush. They will shift again against Adam Dunn, but as we well know, Dempster misses his spot. It won't matter what the Cubs are doing defensively as Dunn hit one out to give them their current 3-2 lead. Otis Nixon and Lance Johnson.
There we go.
Would work. Joe Carter. It's pretty good outfield right there.
Not bad. You could have George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars sing the anthem.
Undercut Terry Adams.
Would have paid more attention in civics class.
Yeah. Swing and the miss as Dunn strikes out. It's a 1-2-3. Sixth for Ryan Dempster. 3-2 Nationals. Luis Adelano worked out a major traffic jam in the fifth inning. Bases loaded, one out. And he escaped completely as he faces Coy Hill. We're in the bottom of the sixth, 3-2 Nationals. Coy just got a piece. All right, just a few more and we'll end it. You keep going and going and going. Craig Monroe, Matt Harrison, Billy Pierce, Tony Taylor, Scotty Madison. You go on and on. So Coy Hill strikes out. After the game, stick around for Sylvania Cubs postgame live. Get highlights of all the action and analysis from Luke and Todd. Don't miss Sylvania Cubs postgame live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. A good look for you right there, Bob.
Yeah, wish I had that much hair on top.
Liner is caught by Kennedy. Ryan Dempster with one of the hardest hit balls off a Cubs bat in the ballgame.
That's just buzzard luck for Ryan Dempster. That's one of the hardest hit balls we've seen off his bat ever. That was headed for the corner down there in left field and extra bases, but Kennedy, who was drawn in to protect against a bunt, able to react quickly enough to snare that line drive.
How about Theodore Roosevelt Lilly?
Hey,
does that work?
That works.
Grover Cleveland Alexander. That's almost not fair, though.
Charlie Hayes.
There you go. Now, see, you're picking it up. Jermaine Van Buren, former Cub. Ted is ready to go tomorrow, his second start of the year. He'll be opposed by right-hander Ian Kennedy of the Diamondbacks, who are leading 6-1 early, bottom 2 in Colorado. Three and one to Terrios, trying to work a base here and keep it alive for Kosuke. That's not going to happen as Atalano goes 1-2-3. We've completed 6, and the Nationals lead by a run. Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. To book your suite or for more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Willingham pops it up. And Derek Lee over near the tarp has it. Nicely done.
Two hands. Cushions himself up against that tarp down the first baseline. Never took his eye off the ball. Sometimes the ball's high enough in the air you can check to see where you are in relation to that side wall and the tarp. But with that bright sunshine and the wind blowing today, Derek Lee thought it best not to take his eye off of that ball.
And with that, Brian Bruni, right after Derek caught it, got back up in the Nationals bullpen, which would lead us to believe that he's going to start the bottom of the 7th on the mound. Atalano has made 91 pitches through 6. 1-1 on Bernardina. The 2-1 from Dempster, hit in the air for Marlon Byrd. Sun not a problem that time. Come on, Marlon, that was boring.
Too easy. Way too easy. We're being invaded.
The Bears are here. Robbie Gould, Brad Maynard, and Pat Manley.
I heard they're here because they're the best singers on the entire club.
Better than Chester? All we care about is effort. Chester Taylor sang it with gusto. That's all you can ask for.
And velocity.
And velocity. And held the mic out of the booth for the second half of the song. The 1-1 to Desmond is low. 2 balls and a strike. Cubs pen is quiet. Dempster's been efficient. The bad thing is he's down 3-2. A pop up off of third. Terrio scooting over there. Oh, he almost got there. It hit the ledge. The navigate around the home plate area in the bullpen. Some of his teammates. You have that little notch where the wall juts out. Ball bag, the whole deal. Equipment, catcher's equipment, little stool. It's like an obstacle course.
Yeah, other than that, it's an easy play. The ball actually stayed a lot closer to the field of play than I thought it was going to when it was popped high in the air down that third base line. A wind pushing everything further foul.
Foul tip, strike 3. Time to sing the stretch with the Bears.
Members of the Chicago Bears, Robbie Gould, Brad Maynard, and Pat Manley.
All right, Cubs fans, let us hear you way up here. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let's root for
New pitcher for the Nationals, right-hander Brian Bruni, who suffered the loss Monday night. He'll face Kosuke Fukudome, Derek Lee, and Aramis Ramirez. 3-2. The Nationals have the lead. And great to have with us the Bears punter, Brad Maynard. It's MAC week. Ball State represented.
Yeah.
We had a Toledo guy yesterday and Chester Taylor. Brad, nice job.
That's great.
Well, did I hear a 3-part harmony?
I think you did. I had the bass, of course. Robbie went soprano. Don't tell him I said that. That was a lot of fun.
And it'll get the adrenaline going for sure.
Certainly. I heard Chester got the adrenaline going a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It was a bitterly cold night last night, but that'll get him used to playing in December.
Exactly.
At Soldier Field.
Yep.
If he runs as fast as he sang last night, we're in good shape this year.
Good.
Let's just put it that way.
Tell you what, that's one guy I've always looked at from the sideline saying, man, that guy runs hard every play. So I'm excited to have him on our team. Just getting him out of the Minnesota locker room, I think, is going to help.
2-2 on Fukudome. Bruni working from the stretch with nobody on. And a base hit to start the inning. Now, Brad, you're one of the best punters around, but with Mike Martz here,
I might be on my way out of town.
The ear of your special teams coach and say, let's throw the ball a little bit more on 4th down.
We might. We'll see. Hopefully we get that offense moving and score some more points. And I know last year I think we had, I know we had 77 punts, which is the lowest I've had as a Bear. So just bringing Jay in alone has made a little difference. And I know with Mike's offense should make a bigger difference.
Ball 1 on Derek Lee. We talked so much about the wind conditions here, and that's obviously a factor a little bit closer to the lake at Soldier Field. And I'm sure you're looking at the weather reports, and you're out early every Sunday morning. Measuring it up. There's a base hit for Derek. 2 on with nobody out.
I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere for a while, guys. They're hot. And these are great seats, too.
Not a bad one.
That's the first thing I looked at when I came in here was the wind. And I saw it blowing in a little bit. I assume you consider that in.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with that first home run that the Nationals hit right up to the right field wall there.
Yeah, the first one surprised us a little bit. The second one by Adam Dunn didn't shock us at all.
Smashed.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
Now, talking about that wind, obviously it affects the punts once it leaves your foot. But what about when you drop the ball?
You nailed it. That's the hardest part. I think that's what people don't get the most, is how much that ball moves from the second it leaves my hand until I kick it. I've always had a low drop, so that's helped me a lot.
Tyler Walker cranking it up quickly. In the Nationals pen, the Cubs had 2 on with nobody out. They've had their chances here going back to last night. And a few times they have not cashed in. That's a strike. 1-1. Ramirez either didn't like the call or the fact that he didn't swing at it.
And we talked about Brian Bruni on Monday night. You're not going to see any off-speed pitches here. He throws a hard sinking 2-seamer, a 4-seam fastball in the mid to upper 90s, and a cut fastball in the high 80s.
Too high. 2-1. So the two guys you were with, are they your two best friends on the team? I mean, I think that position-wise, you guys hang out probably together more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's who we spend the most time with.
It's nice that you like them, right?
We understand each other. A lot of guys don't understand what we go through, and they think we don't do a lot, but we do a lot of hard work.
Well, as you know, when you guys do your job,
ouch.
And Robbie gets the glory when he hits the overtime game winner. But when you do your job, you don't get talked about a lot, especially Pat.
You're right. It's, we're kind of like a major league closer, I guess. When they do their job, they don't get talked about a lot. When we're not doing our job very well, we get talked about. So it's fine with us.
Long look by Bruni. Fukudome at second. He's a tying run. Derek Lee representing the go-ahead run as Nieves smothers that pitch. It's 3-2.
But I would say Patrick Manley is the one that gets talked about the least. And you know, he's the best, obviously the best snapper I've been with, and he's one of the best this league's ever seen. Makes my job extremely easy.
Yeah, we saw you guys throw out the first pitch before the ball game today, and we wondered why Patrick didn't turn around and throw the ball between his legs.
We thought about that, and I could have held it and then flipped it up to Robbie, and he could have thrown it.
Got jammed up the middle, and it's going to be 2. It goes 4-3. So runner at third, but 2 outs in the inning. Let's go back to that triple first pitch from the Bears today. And like you said, we don't talk about the long snapper until he does that.
Exactly.
Got to be kidding me.
You know, that's funny because he's never done that to me. He chose today to do it, but you know what? His ball's got a little Wrigley Field dirt on it now, and he's got a trophy.
Here's Colvin trying to pick up Ramirez after the double play ball. And the pitch, swing and a miss. All right, before we run out of time, I have a strange question for you.
Hey, I've got all day. I don't have to go anywhere.
Face mask.
What you talking about?
Have you changed it during your career? And why don't we see a lot of guys going with just a single bar?
They did away. They did away with the single
do that?
bars. Cannot do it anymore. Only guys that were grandfathered in, meaning they wore it before the rule change. I believe Matt Chirk might still be wearing one in Houston.
Okay.
Might be the last guy. I don't care to. I don't know if you guys remember Washington playing at Dallas five years ago, probably by now. Brian Barker was a punter with Washington. He had a single bar, took a knee to his nose, and just shattered his nose. And, I try to get my gap closed if I can.
Yeah, we go with the half of a single bar up here in the booth.
I like it.
Doesn't really protect us from foul balls, but
you get him up here very often?
Looks good. Not up here. You caught one, didn't you, Bob?
Yeah.
Recently?
A few years ago, yeah.
Yeah. It's a long way up here. 2-1. Cubs had it going. 2 on with nobody out. Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. You play ball as a kid, baseball?
I did. I'm coaching 2 leagues right now for both my boys, 7-year-old and 9-year-old. And I played football, basketball, and baseball growing up, and every day I'm out there with those kids, I say to myself, baseball's the one sport I miss. Love baseball.
Two with 2 outs. We talked about his offense before the game. Need to score some more runs. Ground ball to second. Guzman will make the play. Brad, as we go to break, this is what you're trying to avoid. I misinterpreted. There's Brian Barker, the guy Brad Maynard was talking about, who took one right in the nose. A lot of space there in the face mask. What a nice guy, Brad Maynard. I will watch the punting a little bit more closely.
And the long snap.
Yes.
When he said he coaches his kids in baseball, I wondered if, as he's at the park some days, there's guys throwing the football back and forth or kicking it back and forth. If he ever just goes over and booms an 80-yarder, here's how you do it.
Nieves hits it just foul. That was an interesting swing. It almost worked out for him. Went out and got it. Tried to take it the other way. It actually brings up what I was going to say earlier when the inning ended. The components of hitting, hitting your pitch, and what we saw Tyler Colvin do earlier in the game, going with the pitch. Both very important things. The guys who go with the pitch, a lot of them, if they do it their whole career, they end up in the Hall of Fame, like Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
The ability to hit the ball the other way. Now, Ramos, when he's on, he does that a lot. Nieves chases for strike 3.
Good slider from Ryan Dempster. Looked like a strike when it left his hand on that outer third of the plate. Just dive bombed into the dirt. Nieves, the defensive swing, just trying to put the ball in play. Could not do so.
Pinch hitter is Justin Maxwell. And it's possible he could stay in the game for Willingham with a late lead. And he went around. Although when it's this close, I don't know. We'll see what Jim Riggleman decides to do. I'd hate to take Willingham's bat out of the lineup, even with a lead. And he'll probably get a chance to bat in the ninth. He's one of their best hitters. Fontenot will throw to first and get Maxwell.
Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Well, now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row, behind home plate and along the first base line. Front row seats will be auctioned off to every game all season long. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com and check out the CBOE front row seats auction today.
Setup man Tyler Clippard up for the Nationals. Jim Lett, the bullpen coach, looks on. Nice football connection. Jim Lett played quarterback at Kentucky. In case you're wondering.
I would venture to guess that Jim Lett is the only other guy in this ballpark today that has been to Coshocton, Ohio, my hometown. Jim Lett, part of the hunting party, along with Jim Tracy and others, that goes back to Coshocton County every winter to do some deer hunting. Talking about that before the game today.
2-1 on Morgan.
You have to want to go to Coshocton, Ohio. It's not really on the way to anywhere.
Dempster's 3-1, ball 4. And one of the reasons he is still in the game in the 8th inning is that was his first walk of the day. For Adam Kennedy bats, we have a couple of birthday wishes today. Jack Dickinson turns 88 today. His first Cubs game was back in the 1920s. Mac Wilson ended the game with a home run. They didn't call it a walk-off at that time. Dad's son JD on our crew. Wants to wish his dad a big birthday today. And Stephanie Norris, on the camera down at third, also celebrating a birthday. I can tell you she is not 88.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stephanie. Flinched a little bit as there's a Warren Hopper Fontenot. He gets you out at second, and that's it. Bottom 8 getting late. Still 3-2 for the visitors. Nationals have only had one at bat with a runner in scoring position. They're 1 for 1. They have a couple of solo home runs. The Cubs, on the other hand, 1 for 9. So in hockey parlance, the Cubs have outchanced the Nationals, but they trail where it counts, 3-2. Bird against Tyler Clippard. And the 0-1 cued off the end of the bat, foul.
It's that straight changeup from Tyler Clippard. He's got a sneaky quick fastball, but that straight changeup is a real deceptive pitch against righties and lefties.
Stylish glasses.
I saw him come into the ball game last night. I thought he had a cigarette behind his ear.
It looks like. Gave up 2 base runners to start the 8th and got out of it. And he's going to give up a leadoff hit in this one as it's knocked down, but not enough by Bernardina. And the tying run is in scoring position with no outs. That's a double for Bird.
It's a double because he went hard out of the batter's box, and when that ball was bobbled by Bernardino out there in right field, it gave Marlin the opportunity to go on to second base. I say it all the time, you get an extra base hit out of the batter's box. You don't get it once you start running the bases. Outstanding hustle once again, as usual, by Marlon Bird.
That is the first extra base hit for the Cubs. Their 9th hit overall. So it's Fontenot, and on deck after him is Chad Tracy for Coy Hill. Popped, foul, and out of play.
Mike Fontenot's got to try to move that ball to the right side of the field here, or hit it deep enough in the outfield to allow Marlon Byrd an opportunity to tag and get to third.
Oh, 2 pitch is too high. Clippard already has 2 wins, or 3 wins rather, in relief. Looking for the proverbial hold in this one. Desmond with a beat on it, makes the catch. Cub fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago. The newly built club, located down the third base line, offers high-end catering, a full-service top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, and there still are some available, call 773-404-4200. That is a wonderful place to spend your day. A lot of modern amenities. You get to watch a game at historic Wrigley Field. Chad Tracy batting. There are still tickets available here early in the season, especially. Make sure you just head right to the Cubs ticket office and come on out for this weekend against the Diamondbacks. Chad Tracy takes ball 1. Xavier Nady on deck for Dempster. One and one. Change up there from Clippard. Outside corner. That's a big swing pitch in the at bat. It goes to 1-2 instead of 2-1.
Especially for a guy that's got a couple of really plus pitches. That fastball at 93 there on the outside corner at the knees. We talked about the straight changeup. But Tracy really needs to battle here. He does, able to foul that fastball off to the third base side.
Led off the inning with an opposite field double. He's still at second after Fontenot popped out to Desmond. And a 1-2 to the pinch hitter Tracy. He struck him out on a high heater. So the Cubs are now 1 for 11 with men in scoring position.
It's tough to catch up to that letter high fastball. This is not to say that the Cubs can't still push that tying run across the plate here with a base hit off the bat of Xavier Nady, but the inability of Mike Fontenot to move that runner from second to third, solid fundamental baseball once again, makes it tougher for those guys to follow in the batting order. May have changed Chad Tracy's at bat, may have changed Xavier Nady's at bat.
So Dempster officially done as Nady bats for him. Ryan, the first Cubs starter to complete 8 innings here in 2010. He's gone at least 7 2/3 each of the last 3 starts. Two and 0 to Nady. He continues to say he would like to get Nady into that lineup here soon. It's been tough with a 5-man outfield rotation. Terrio on deck. And he walked him. Reason why that would be a pitch around, not with how hot Terrio is. 2 more hits today. Here we go. He pops it up. Foul ground. Dunn makes the catch right at the tarp. And the inning ends again in frustration for the Cubs. 3-2 Nationals to the 9th. Battle the Canucks. Round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs coming soon to Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Soto now catching for Coy Hill, who was removed for pinch hitter Chad Tracy, and lefty Sean Marshall will take over on the hill.
Stellar numbers for Marshall. 14 strikeouts, 1 walk in his 10 innings of work. Odd that the lefties are hitting .385 against Sean Marshall's. Righties only .240.
Christian Guzman airs it out to center. Marlon Byrd, 2 hands on it, looks it in, 1 out. Adam Dunn has a big home run, the go-ahead RBI in the 4th with a leadoff shot off the starter Ryan Dempster. The Nats have 4 hits, and that was the last hit. Way back in the 4th. They've only had 1 base runner since. Couple of finals in the NL already. San Diego beat Florida 6-4, and the Mets won again as Dunn with a laser right at Fukudome, who was pinned up against the wall. The ball was hit hard.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes.
The Mets just won their 7th in a row. The first place Mets have won 7 straight. 7-3 over the reeling Dodgers. John Maine over John Eli. A wild one in Colorado, 6-5. The Diamondbacks got 6 in the first, and the Rockies are now within 1. They're still batting. The bottom of the 3rd. Willingham flies out to Marlon Byrd. So Matt Capps will come in. He'll face Fukudome, Lee, and Ramirez. Last chance for the Cubs. The speedy Willie Taveras is playing left for Josh Willingham. Adam Kennedy goes from 3rd to 1st, so Adam Dunn is out. Alberto Gonzalez spells Kennedy at 3rd, and Matt Capps tries to get his 2nd save in under 24 hours.
Perfect 9 for 9 in save opportunities this season. We saw Capps last night. We talked about it at length over the last few years. The 6 walks is very shocking in 12 1/3 innings of work for Matt Capps. This guy is a strike throwing machine. Can work his fastball all around the zone, up, down, in, out.
Fukudome leads off and rolls it into the hole. It's short, and the throw is in time. Kosuke rarely argues a call. He is in disbelief. And here comes Lou. Brian Knight made that call. A huge play as a tying run was trying to reach first. Like he's saying, I'm positive.
Fukudome got a quick start out of that left-handed batter's box on that slow roller to that side.
Well, it looked like the ball hit the glove this absolute millisecond that Kosuke hit the bag. How would you have called it?
Oh, the naked eye from up here, I thought the umpire got it right. And then on the replay, it was a lot closer than I thought it was. But yeah, it's a nice play by the young shortstop, Ian Desmond, to scoop that ball and throw on the run and get enough on it to make it that close of a play. We saw how quickly Kosuke got out of the batter's box. Oof, yeah, that's about as close as you can possibly get over there at first base. You're going to get an argument from either dugout on that one.
Yep, through Cubs-colored glasses. He's safe. I'm sure the Nationals are saying, no, it was a good call. That's as close as it gets. Look at this.
Right, to Kosuke's credit, look at it, the ball of his foot hitting the very front part of the bag. Yeah, that'll get you there as quickly as possible.
We do our best to be fair when it comes to umpire calls. And you got to pick one. Unfortunately, that one went against the Cubs. It's one of the toughest calls an umpire has to make. And Kosuke, as you said, made it that close. I don't know. Would it be refreshing if the first base umpire in that spot said, I don't know? Not really allowed.
No, you have to make a call one way or the other. And that one, clearly, as I said, if he calls it either way, he's going to get an argument from one dugout or the other. It was that close, bang, bang at first base. And that's one of those plays. How many replays did we look at there? And you still can't really determine definitively whether he was safe or out. It was that close. I've heard people say, well, the tie goes to the runner, and the umpires will tell you there's no such thing as a tie. He's either safe or he's out.
Lead battling as Capps comes back on an 0-2 and he strikes him out on a slider.
Not a lot of movement on that slider, just enough after you've thrown a series of fastballs to give that hitter a little bit of a different look, get just the slightest bit of movement away from the right-handed bat of Derek Lee for strike 3.
Pitch to Aramis Ramirez is bounced foul. Cubs have out hit the Nationals 9-4. They've had a lot more base runners. But they're down 3-2. Here's the 0-1 from Capps. Low. 1-1. They're in the top of the 11th in Milwaukee. Pirates 5, Brewers 5 in that one. The Rockies now lead 7-6 in the 4th over Arizona. Giants and Phillies scoreless. Bottom of the 4th. And Lincecum and Cole Hamels in that one. A pop-up by Ramirez over near the Washington dugout. And it's caught by Nieves, and the Nationals take 2 of 3. We kept hearing about how improved this team is, and they're going to leave Wrigley Field 2 games over 500, and the Cubs back to 2 under 500. This was an exercise in major frustration offensively today.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's take a look at our GMC player of the game. The only hit that he had today, but it was a big one for Adam Dunn, who loves to hit in this ballpark. Went way back into the bleachers in left field to give the Nationals a lead, and they never looked back.
Cubs threatened many different times. Got 2 runs early and then were shut out over the final 7. It's going to do it for our game coverage. A final score from Wrigley Field: the Nationals 3, the Cubs 2. Our next Comcast Sportsnet telecast will be Friday from right here at Wrigley Field. Game 2 of the upcoming 4-game series, Rodrigo Lopez versus Randy Wells. We'll hit the air at 1 o'clock, pregame from the studio at 12:30. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob and our entire crew, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned as Luke and Todd will bring you Sylvania Cubs post-game live next.